As for your literacy, this one is kind of intuitive, but also has some more implications than you would think. So literacy is not simply just research. Literacy is also for your population what jobs they can take. A very illiterate population is not going to be building trains, for instance. You know, you're not going to get Joe off the street who hasn't even been to primary school and doesn't know how to read to, you know, start building your telephones for you, are you? Probably not. Unless they're a factory worker, in which case, yes, they are. But anyway, engineers are people who need to be illiterate, and you need to have engineers in certain factories in order to produce anything, like electrics, motor, chemical plantations. You need people somewhat knowledgeable, so you need to have some literacy in your states, and that can be improved through a few different ways. General literacy is one, but also universities. You want people in your home states to be literate so they can do cool things, instead of, like, farming. So having more literacy is also going to increase the technology spread. Technology is in two different forms. You can have it spread to you. I don't think anything's spreading to us right now because we haven't unpaused the game. But something will spread to you, and then you can also just focus on something to spend your actual points on. Yeah, the more literate you are, and the more universities you have, which also directly improve, doesn't show us, which is one of my problems with the GUI, but it does also improve the amount of innovation you get. So yeah, number one gripe with UI, let's just start with this one, is the fact that when you want to click something, it tells you, number one, predicted earnings per week. I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, don't read any of this. It doesn't matter, okay? I literally does not matter. The only thing that might be relevant is the peasants. It says not enough qualifications. I don't care. This is stuff that I think needs to be improved on the information side of the GUI, where in this case, if we were to build a steel mill, more than likely it would be able to run just fine. The fact that we have no qualifying capitalists is irrelevant because the capitalists will be created from the existence of this factory. So even if we don't have them already, it's fine. We'll create them. They'll just exist anyway. In a couple of situations, this isn't entirely the case, but so long as you have literate population, they'll usually just start filling the roles. This actually does matter, the construction cost. It sort of tells you how long it'll take for it to be produced. This is actually relevant. And then this down here is the labor. This is relevant, and this is relevant to start with, and then later it's not relevant. So the only thing you actually care about in a state, especially late game, is the population. Because if you have enough literacy, then people will just do whatever you need them to. You can still subsidize those trains to get people on them, but pretty expensive, pretty rough in general. Yesterday you couldn't get people working in trains without expensive subsidies. Could be better to import. We'll get to that. Trains are really important, so you want to subsidize them pretty much always, because sometimes the transportation that they create is not necessarily valued by the population, but the infrastructure is valued by you. Yeah, I am perfectly fine with subsidizing things that are really important, like railways.